Hey, this is Neil Sandansi. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be kind, helpful, and grateful. It's better than being a jerk. You get further too. You get a lot more cooperation with people that way. And some sound advice. Buy some silver, some platinum, and some crystallized osmium. All of them are going to do very well in this economic downtrodden that we're going to be facing. But that's not what this is about. I'm trying to open up my glasses with my one hand. This is about Izzy Africa, ECOWAS in shock as AES becomes permanent. What that means is the Sahel nations of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have permanently broken away from the French-backed ECOWAS, which means there's more instability from the European EU, mostly France, controlled West Africa, the stripping of the resources, putting it back into the hands of the people, which is, it can go either way. It depends on how they structure it. I'm a bit concerned about the Sahel nation states, but we shall see if they stay true to their freedom-loving peoples. But anyhow, that's not what this is about. This is about these guys talking. So let's let these guys talk.
Sent shockwaves through the region. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger announced their departure from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, in January 2024. But what led to this dramatic decision? The roots of this exit lie in a complex web of political, economic, and security challenges. The three countries accused ECOWAS of failing to provide adequate support in their fight against jihadist groups. They argued that the bloc's focus on political processes overshadowed the urgent need for security cooperation. Following military takeovers in these countries, ECOWAS imposed harsh sanctions, which the new leaders viewed as counterproductive and harmful to their populations. Again, there was a growing perception that ECOWAS was unduly influenced by external powers, particularly former colonial rulers, compromising the bloc's ability to serve African interests. The Sahel nations felt that ECOWAS had not delivered on its promises of economic integration and development, leaving them vulnerable to external economic pressures. Now that you have heard it, what's your take on these grievances? Do you think ECOWAS could have done more to address these concerns? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The exit from ECOWAS didn't happen in isolation. It was part of a broader strategy by these Sahel nations to assert their independence and forge a new path. Let's look at some key steps they took. In September 2023, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger signed this Mutual Defense Pact, creating the Alliance of Sahel States, AES.
Did a video on that.
This marked a significant shift towards regional cooperation outside of ECOWAS frameworks. In a bold move to assert sovereignty, these nations began the process of closing foreign military bases, particularly those of former colonial power France. The Sahel nations started exploring new international partnerships, notably strengthening ties with Russia and other non-Western powers. Steps were taken to reduce economic dependence on the CFA franc, exploring alternatives for monetary sovereignty. The three countries increased military cooperation, conducting joint operations against insurgent groups without ECOWAS involvement. These actions signaled a clear intent to chart an independent course. Before we continue, just a gentle reminder to like and share our videos. Also, subscribe to the channel to stay informed on the latest African economic, political, and social developments.
Or you can stay informed by liking, sharing, subscribing my content. I'll bring you their content.
As the exit from ECOWAS becomes official, the Confederation of Sahel States is taking shape. This new alliance, born from the Liptako-Gourma Accord, represents a significant shift in regional dynamics. Let's explore its development and potential future. In July 2024, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso signed a confederation treaty, solidifying their commitment to joint action. The alliance has established a joint military force to address security challenges across their territories, focusing on combating jihadist groups. discussions are underway about deeper economic cooperation, including the possibility of a shared currency to replace the CFA franc. The three nations are aligning their foreign policies, presenting a united front in international forums. Plans are being made for joint infrastructure projects to enhance connectivity between the member states, like rail lines, common mobile telephony policies, and so on. The next moves for the Confederation are likely to include expanding membership to other Sahel nations, developing joint economic policies to boost regional trade, and strengthen.
Now that is what I'm interested in, seeing if I believe Nigeria, not Niger, but I believe Nigeria and the Ivory Coast and probably Senegal and maybe Ghana will join the Sahel nations, which totally will take West Africa out of play for Europe and the EU, which is a good thing for the African nations there and the people there, and they obviously deserve everything that their country has to offer for them, and they need to be quit being fleeced by foreign nations, including China, Russia, and Dubai, AEU, who stole 500 tons of gold from Burkina Faso over the past 10 years, while encouraging terrorism in that area so they could keep stealing the gold. So it's not just the colonial West, it's the whole world. They're just focusing your attention on the bad white guy. But hey, there's white guys in brown skin called Arabs. They do it. There's white guys in yellow skin called Chinese. They do it. So as long as you want to blame the colonial white guy, include the colonial white guy being the Arab brown white guy and the Chinese yellow white guy. And don't get screwed up with words and think that it's only the colonials that are doing it. China's been kicked out of like 13 countries in Africa for their despicable mining techniques and using mercury and letting it go back into the ground. And, oh God, it's disgusting what they've done. And they've been kicked out. No other country's been kicked out of Africa as much as China. So you might hate the colonials, but they haven't kicked them out. They have they kicked out France. France deserved it. France was stealing from them. Not as bad as China. But they don't talk about China and kicking China out. I think I did a report about 2 years ago about that. But let's get back to the story, because this is what you want to hear. You don't want to hear me running my mouth.
Strengthening ties with non-Western powers like Russia and China. What do you think about this new alliance? Since the announcement by Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, ECOWAS did not just keep quiet. They did something, but it now seems like their effort was not good enough. Hence, despite efforts by regional leaders, particularly the presidents of Senegal and Togo, attempts to persuade the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, to reconsider their ECOWAS exit have failed. Let's examine these diplomatic efforts. President Diomaye Faye of Senegal, a respected regional figure, made several overtures to the AES leaders, emphasizing the importance of regional unity. Also, Togo's President Faure Gnassingbé, known for his diplomatic skills, attempted to broker a compromise between ECOWAS and the departing nations. Both leaders coordinated their efforts at the request of ECOWAS, visiting the capitals of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger to engage in direct dialogue. They suggested potential reforms within ECOWAS to address the concerns raised by the AES countries. Also, attempts were made to offer economic incentives for the AES nations to remain within ECOWAS. Despite these efforts, the AES remained firm in their decision to leave. Why do you think these diplomatic initiatives failed?
Well, we'll leave that for another video, because this one's already gone too long. The point of the matter is, ECOWAS is falling apart. It's controlled by French. It's called the franc, Euro franc, because the French are the one who are backing the ECOWAS, and that's why the Sahel nations of Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali want to, or are getting out of that system, because it's a corrupt system. I predict several other countries will join them, and we'll see what happens. I don't think they're going to join BRICS. I think they want to stay separate from BRICS, but we shall see, because BRICS is going to be falling apart soon. Anyhow, you guys have a great night. Talk to you later. Happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much. Watch out for the tryptophan. It's in the turkey. It makes you tired after you eat it. Look to buy turkeys They give you trip to Hawaii instead.